Well, hi guys, welcome back to Linda's Pantry, and today I'm canning asparagus, and I'm using the Ball Complete book for home preservation, or home preserving. And it's on page 386, canning asparagus. I bought 9 packages of asparagus at 2.25 pounds each. That's a lot of asparagus. I have over 20 pounds, so we're gonna can it. I absolutely love canned asparagus, and I'm gonna pickle some of it. So we're gonna have it canned 2 different ways, but today I'm gonna show you how to actually pressure can it. And it must be pressure canned, it's a low acid food. I watched some little gal canning asparagus and did water bath canning for 45 minutes, and I thought, oh my gosh, I hope they didn't eat that. Anyway, scary. Okay, we have, I'm gonna do the raw pack method. So I may have a little bit of floating at the end, but it doesn't bother me. So I measure off to 1 inch of headspace in my jar. And then I'm gonna cut the rest, and there's still gonna be some ends there though that are not quite woody. I wanna put those in this bowl because they will, I can can those in pieces, and I just go ahead and break. See where they broke? It's giving up where the woody end starts. And my dogs love these. Trust me, they love them. They'll eat all the ones I don't have. So, okay, so those are all woody ends. And I'll put these in a pile for them. All right, so we're gonna pack our jars. We're gonna top it with hot water. I am going to actually soak all of these in cold water in the sink and get them nice and clean. And I salted that water too. And then we'll go ahead and start packing the jars because they'll all be cut by the time we get to the sink. All right, guys, I'll bring you back. All right, so I've got all my asparagus washed. There's still some in the sink. This is the compost, these 2 bags here. They were the very woody ends, or my dogs love them as treats, so you can certainly do that. Raw vegetables for them. It's low calorie. They fill up. In fact, I cut it up into pieces and put it with their dog food. The only one that picks around it is Strut, but yet after he's done eating his dog food, then he'll eat the, he'll go ahead and eat the asparagus. So he's funny. And so you're going to pack your jars kind of on their side. And if you see there's one that's, you didn't get short enough, then you can shorten it. But this is what we got. These are pieces that were between the woody end and where I had to cut. So I'm gonna make an asparagus casserole. So delicious. See, there's a long one. And you're gonna find you've got some that are curled, some that aren't. You can pretty much pack these pretty tightly. And I like packing about the same size in each jar, because I do have some really skinny ones here. I'm not sure that I like that, but for the presentation part, you want it to be pretty uniform. And then it's up to you whether you want to add salt or not. Salt is not going to change the preservation aspect of this product. It only adds for flavor. One more right there, and I think we're good to go. And these are packed in there pretty good. In fact, that one doesn't even want to go, but we're gonna make it. And if you had some pieces that you wanted, like you could stick, if you wanted to fill up the void at the top, you can stick some pieces in here. Nobody's gonna see them, they're in the center. So, and you're gonna get more product out of the deal when you open a jar. And Michael and I will eat this whole jar in one sitting, no problem. That's all you're gonna do. Beautiful, packed in the jar nicely. We're gonna put hot water. These jars have been tempered. They're still warm from the dishwasher. We're gonna fill these to 1 inch of headspace with the water and get them in the canner. I gotta start my canner heating it up. I've got 3 inches of water in the 10.5, whoops, I'm over here. In the 10.5 quart canner. Okay, so I've got 4 of these jars packed, and I'm gonna go ahead and get them resting in the canner. Half a teaspoon of salt to each one, and because the jars were in the dishwasher and warm when I packed them, there's no thermal shock. Inch of headspace, and you want to make sure all your bubbles just kind of go around the edge is really all you can do. But and push. And if you can get any more asparagus in there, because you just, and I can see when something's too long, I'm like, oh, that one didn't get cut right. This one, I think I can get another piece, yep, down in here. Sometimes that water just loosens it right up. Go ahead and wipe the rim of your jar. Just like always, make sure you give it one last test that there's no nicks in your jar that would, you know, keep your jars from sealing. And where's my magnetic wand? Ouch, these jars, or these lids are in hot water. So they're hot. But I have asbestos hands, apparently. Fingertip tight, and in the canner it goes, and they're just beautiful. Oh my gosh, they're beautiful. I can't wait to have this on my shelf. And at $1.55 a pound, unreal. Each of those packages, 2.5 pound packages, were $3.49. Just 3 or 4 weeks ago, Costco had those same packages for $7.99. I'm not paying that. So we can't eat asparagus when it's that expensive, but now I'll have it on my shelf and we'll be able to eat it anytime we want. That's hot. So in the canner it goes to wait for the rest of the jars. And once that canner is full, I'm going to put the lid on. I'm going to bring it up, put the temperature on high. And when it starts steaming out of the petcock, then I'm going to let it vent for 10 full minutes. Put the weight on when it comes up to speed, and I'm 15 pounds of pressure, like I said. When it starts jiggling, I'm only putting, even though 7 jars fits in that canner just perfect, the water level's too high. And so it would end up bubbling out of the petcock, and so you don't want that. So I'm just going to do 5 at a time because I'm going to have to do another run. So 5 1.5 pint jars at a time is perfect. Now, when I use pint jars, I can actually get 7 of them in there. But the water level stays lower because of the volume of the jars. So, if that makes sense. This is going to, I've got this sealed down, turn my burner on high. Once the steam starts coming out of the petcock there, I will put the timer on for 10 minutes. And that's getting all the air out of the canner and getting what is in the canner at the same temperature, all the water at the same temperature. And then I'll put my 15 pound weight on over the petcock, and when it comes up to 15 pounds of pressure, which is 240 degrees, I will then start my timer for 40 minutes, and then once that's done, we'll let it cool down until it goes back down to 0. Take the weight off, let it sit for, I undo these, but I leave the lid kind of cocked off to one side and let it sit and cool down a little bit slower for about 5 minutes, and you'll have less of your water or liquid evacuating out of your jars. My carrot canning video, I had perfect headspace after I was all done and they were cooled down. So we'll bring you back when we're pulling them out.
Okay guys,
change of plans. This is the nice thing about having 2 canners. I wanted to wait and see. If I had just 5 jars, I'd have just done another run in this small canner. But because I have an additional 7 jars, so those 6 bags rendered 12 1.5 pint jars, plus a big bowl of asparagus that we can eat over the next couple of days. I love roasted asparagus. And this is going to make me so happy to have this dozen jars of asparagus on the shelf, because veggies are hard to, you know, keep stocked. And a jar this size would be $3 or $4 in the store. So I'm just going to go ahead. And this one has a lot of ends and pieces in it because of, it was the last one and I didn't want to waste any of it. Now I could can up, you know, just ends and pieces, and I might do that. I don't know. I haven't really decided. But I've got my big All-American canner out. She's coming up to temperature, and the other one is already vented for 10 minutes. I've got the weight on, so I'll have a timer on the stove as well as on my phone. So you don't want to lose track, and you gotta really pay attention when you're pressure canning, because the temperature needs to stay steady. Okay, so I'm gonna get this in the canner and get the rest of these jars all prepped up, and we'll get to canning asparagus. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited, you guys. We're gonna get 12 jars. That's awesome. So guys, my second canner is done. It's come down off our pressure. I've taken the weight off, and I've kind of, you know, tilted that lid a little bit. So it lets some of that hot steam out of there. That way your jars don't come down off of pressure too fast and cause them to lose liquid. You don't want that to happen. I'm excited. We are gonna have, now these jars, and you're gonna see the difference. These jars came out of the first canner, and they're absolutely beautiful. So, nice. No floating. They were floating at first, so, and that's normal to have that because the air inside the vegetable, it's gonna push up. But now they've settled back down and they're perfect. I love this. I'm excited to have this on my shelf. And I said that I had 12, but it ended up, now you can see floating here. But these will settle down as they cool. So, okay, we are gonna put all these out, get a picture. I said I had 12, but I actually have 13 1.5 pint jars of asparagus spears. And I think there's 2 that are pieces. So, I will tell you, after I experienced this, I like working with the larger spears better than those little tiny skinny ones. They're easier to deal with. The skinny ones were a little hard to deal with, and they don't hold up to much if you're manipulating them. So if you haven't tried your hand at home canning, I hope you try it after this. It's super easy. I'm going to leave a link in the description box for a canner. You can go online, get yourself a ball canning book, or you can resource online for almost any university has some kind of resource for home canning. And now the jars are pinning, and I have one more left. So a total of 13 quarts. And you can see the ends and pieces really, you get a lot of floating, but that's okay. They're gonna come back down when they cool, and I don't mind. I still have plenty of food in the jar. So we have 3 more bags to go. I'm gonna make pickles, and I may end up doing another batch. You never know. I don't know how many pickles I need, but I absolutely love doing this for you, and I hope that it inspires you to come back and subscribe to my channel. Go ahead and hit that like button down below. Leave me a comment and let me know what you like to can the most. I gave a review on a new canned product that I did on one of my vlogs, so I hope you stay tuned and watch that. And I can't wait to see you next time. Guys, if you ever want to drop me a line, go down in the About section. My address is there, my Facebook page, all those things. You can chit chat with me anytime you want. All right. Bye.